Welcome to the online class Standard 8 Subject Physics, and this is Amos Michael, Department of Physics. Welcome to the sound lesson, chapter number 7. What are the learning objectives? We are going to learn about a brief introduction about the sound, and then we are going to learn some of the characteristics of a sound wave. That means the wavelength, amplitude, time period, frequency, and the relation between the time period and frequency, and finally with the note of loudness we will end this online class. What is a sound? Sound is a form of energy which makes us hear, and it is produced when a body vibrates. Look at the diagram. When the tuning fork vibrates, it produces sound, and we can hear the sound of the tuning fork. So different vibrations of different objects make different sounds. So all the sounds will not be one and the same. So different objects will make a different sounds. The unpleasant sound is called noise. Example, running a mixer grinder, blowing horns of cars, bike, truck, etc. So these are the examples for noise. Why? Because they are unpleasant sound. So what do you mean by a music? The pleasant sound is called the music. Example, the sound coming from guitar, veena, violin, etc. are the examples for sound. So there are 4 types of instruments. One is stringed musical instruments, and another one is wind musical instruments, and third one is membrane, that is percussion type instrument, and finally the fourth one is plate type instruments. Vibration. The vibration is defined as the rapid back and forth movement of an object about a mean position. Mean means center position. So if a body vibrates about its center position, and if a body move about its center position, and we call it as a vibration. The sound is a wave that is created by the vibrating particles, and it needs a medium to travel. Unlike light, sound it requires a medium for its propagation, whereas light it doesn't require a medium to propagate from one place to another place, because even through vacuum light can propagate from one place to another place. What are the characteristics of a sound wave? Sound is a longitudinal wave which consists of compressions and rarefactions traveling through a medium. So sound wave can be described completely by 5 characteristics. You look at that picture. When the tuning fork vibrates, compressions and rarefactions are produced. Compressions are the area or region in which the density of the particles will be high, and rarefactions is a space or an area in which the density of the particles will be very low. So sound will propagate in the form of compressions and rarefactions. So we can, the second picture, you can see clearly the movement of the sound wave. So if you look at a single particle, the particle will move back and forth, but it does not move from one place to another place. So what happens? The energy is transferred from one place to another place through the particles of the medium. So that is what we call it as a wave. Wave is nothing but, so wave is basically an energy which is transferred from one place to another place to the particles of the medium. So here the sound wave can be described completely by 5 characteristics. One is wavelength, amplitude, time period, frequency, and velocity or speed. So consider the longitudinal wave A, B, C, D, E and E, F, G, H, I formed by the vibrations of the tuning fork. So if you noted in this figure A, B, C, D, E, GHI is a complete sound wave. So, the first sound wave starts from the normal density position A and after going through compressions along A, B, C and rarefactions along C, D, E. So, A, B, C is the compression area and C, D, E is the rarefaction area. So, once again it returns to the normal position E. So, thus the position A, B, C, D, E represents a one complete sound wave. So, one complete sound wave starts from the beginning point A and it ends at the point E. So, the next sound will start from the point E and it goes up to the point I. Here the compressions is E, F, G and the rarefactions is G, H, I. What is the wavelength? The minimum distance in which a sound wave repeats itself is called its wavelength. So, the minimum distance in which a sound wave repeats is called wavelength. So, in other words, it is the length of one complete wave. So, wavelength, what do you mean by wavelength? It is the length of one complete wave. The wavelength is denoted by the Greek letter lambda. So, in a sound wave, the distance between the centers of two consecutive compressions or two consecutive rarefactions is equal to its wavelength. So, look at this diagram. C is nothing but compressions, R is nothing but rarefactions. So, compressions and rarefactions, we know that the sound wave will travel in the form of compressions and rarefactions. So, the distance between consecutive compressions are rarefactions. Look at this point, the distance between consecutive, that means successive compressions, or the distance between successive rarefactions from this point to this point is also called the wavelength lambda. So, what do you mean by wavelength? The distance between successive or consecutive compressions or the distance between successive rarefactions. Amplitude. When a wave passes through a medium, the particles of the medium get displaced temporarily from the original undisturbed position. So, this is the normal line of normal density, original undisturbed position. So, the maximum displacement of the particles of the medium from their original undisturbed position is called amplitude of the wave. So, from the original undisturbed position, the maximum displacement of the particles is called amplitude. That is, here in this picture, the height Pb is the amplitude of the wave. That term amplitude is used to describe the size of the wave. Pb is the amplitude of the wave. The amplitude of the wave is usually denoted by the letter A, stands for amplitude. Time period. The time taken to complete one vibration is called time period. So, the wave will take some time in order to make one complete vibrations, and that is called time period. Suppose these two waves are produced in 1 second, then the time required to produce one wave will be 1/2 seconds or 0.5 seconds. The time period of the wave is denoted by the letter T. The unit of measurement of time period is second. Frequency. What do you mean by frequency? The number of complete waves produced in 1 second is called frequency. We can also say that the number of vibrations per second is called frequency. The SI unit of frequency is Hertz and it is written as capital H sub small z. So, the frequency of the wave is denoted by the letter small f, even though some books they used to denote frequency by the symbol nu. So, this symbol, name of the symbol is nu. Frequency. Look at this diagram. So, in this diagram, in 1 second, how many one complete vibrations are produced? So, there are 20 complete vibrations are produced. That means 20 cycles. So, the wave starts from the point here and it goes to the positive half cycle and it goes come down to the negative half cycle, and again it reaches the undisturbed position. So this is what we call it as a one complete wave or one complete cycle. So like this whole wave, it consists of 20 cycles. You can count that. So there will be 20 cycles in this wave. So 20 complete vibrations are produced in a 1 second, means then the frequency is, we know that number of vibrations per second, therefore the frequency is 20 hertz, whereas the time period is 1 by f, 1 by 20. So t equal to, if you divide 1, if you divide 1 by 20, and you will get time period as 0.5 second. The relation between time period and frequency. The frequency of a wave is the reciprocal of its time period. The frequency of a wave is the reciprocal of its time period. Frequency is equal to 1 by time period. So f can be written as f is equal to 1 by t, or time period is equal to 1 by f. So this time period will go to this location, and f it will come down to the denominator. So time period and frequency are related by the formula, that is time period is equal to 1 by frequency, or frequency is equal to 1 by time period. What do you mean by loudness? Sound are produced by vibrating objects. So if more energy is applied to an object by plucking it or hitting it more strongly, then the object will vibrate with a greater amplitude and produce a louder sound. So the loudness, it depends on the amplitude of the vibrations. Greater the amplitude of vibrations, louder the sound. Look at this diagram. Here the amplitude is small when compared to this. So here the amplitude is bigger, means it will produce a louder sound, whereas here if the amplitude is small, and it will be, the sound will be very quieter. So when a guitar string is plucked lightly, then it vibrates with a small amplitude and produces a faint sound. Look at the first pictures. Here the guitar string is plucked lightly, as a result it produces a very faint sound. On the other hand, second one, when a guitar string is plucked hard, then it vibrates with a large amplitude and produces very loud sound. So loudness, once again I want to sum up, loudness of a sound depends on the amplitude of vibrations of a sound producing objects. When the amplitude of vibration is large, the sound produced is loud. On the other hand, when the amplitude of the vibrations is small, the sound produced is feeble. Loudness of sound is directly proportional to the square of amplitude of vibrations. So if the amplitude of vibration is doubled, then the loudness will become 4 times, that is 2 square is equal to 4. If the amplitude of vibrations is half, that is made 1 by 2, then the loudness will become 1/4, that because 1 by 2 the whole square will give you 1 by 4. So loudness of sound is expressed in the unit called decibel, and it is written as small d capital B. The softest sound which human can hear is said to have a loudness of 0 decibel. So the human beings can hear even 0 degree decibel. At the loudness of the above 80 decibel, the sound becomes physically painful, and above 140 decibel level it will hurt too much. So that's all for this class. These are the assignment for this class, and you have to read loud from page number 112 to 115, and you have to mark the keywords. Draw the diagram in your classwork notebook from page number 112, figure 7.1, and you have to study the objective type questions A2, A3, A6, B1, B2, B3, B4, C1, C3, C4 and C7, and also you have to study the question and answer, that is short and descriptive type questions, E1, E4, E6, F1 and F2. So that's all for the today's class. I hope that you will understand the concepts clearly. Thank you so much.